As you know, Christianity is nothing if not a religion based entirely on theft. If you add the Judeo influence, we can take this all the way back to Canaan, where the followers of the tribal war god of Abraham were so proud of their larceny, they actually canonized it, bragging of their genocidal conquests, and claiming the imprimatur of the all-loving God of the universe, who apparently has absolutely no problem with the murder of babies. Christianity stole from the Jews, the Greeks, the Romans, and eventually went on to steal entire continents: Africa, South America, North America, Australia, and the Indian subcontinent, decimating the indigenous peoples, stealing the labor of those they enslaved, and plundering both the acquired wealth of these savages and the natural resources of their lands. Now, the Christians are coming after our stuff as well. That's right, they're trying to steal from us both our secularism and our humanism, saying that the scientific revolution and the ideals of the Enlightenment are not the bastard children of more than 1,000 years of Christian tyranny, but rather the blessed and sanctified heirs of the Judeo-Christian ethos. For some time now, this has been the milieu of one Jordan B. Peterson, who's been telling atheists like myself for more than a decade now that we are anything but. Now we have a new champion taking center stage, historian Tom Holland, who comes bearing a similar message. All good things emanating from the West, and only good things, are the proceeds of the Christian worldview, which has held dominion over the West for more than 1,500 years. Tom is essentially Jordan B. Peterson 2.0. Or perhaps JBP on steroids. In his conversation with A.C. Grayling on Unbelievable, Tom says,
If the West is a goldfish bowl, then essentially the water that we swim in is Christianity.
But Tom has a better metaphor.
Another metaphor struck me when I watched the HBO series Chernobyl about the explosion of the nuclear reactor in the Soviet Union. And what you saw there, when the reactor smashes open, you literally see the air ionizing, so you can see the radioactivity leaking. But the point of the story, of course, is that radioactivity is leaking. It's reaching Kiev, it's reaching Scandinavia, it's reaching the sheep farms of Cumbria, and people are breathing it in and being affected by it.
I prefer this second metaphor, of course. Water is life-giving to the fish and mammals who swim therein. Radioactivity is life-taking. This is certainly a better description of what Christianity has brought to the world. I joke, of course, with my Christian friends. I'm sure Christianity gained dominion over so much of the world by way of these Enlightenment values and principles, which Tom says are both unique and intrinsic to the Christian way of life and thinking. Logic and reason, compelling argumentation, gentle persuasion, anti-authoritarianism, natural law, tolerance, humility, curiosity, empiricism, the separation of church and state. All the stuff the West has been swimming in since the Christians took hold of the Roman Empire in the late 4th century. And there's our first bump in the road. Think about it. By the time Christianity took over the Roman Empire in the West and had the power to make the world in its image, Christianity had been around for nearly 400 years. America is just about to turn 250 years old. So Christianity had more than enough time to cement its values and guiding principles. Moreover, Christianity is a revealed religion. Its laws, ideals, values, and guiding principles come directly from the Almighty Himself, a being of absolute moral perfection and omniscience. This is not a religion which needed time to evolve. So, did the Christians of the late 4th century bring us a world anything like we'd expect to see from an institution pregnant from its birth with the values of the Enlightenment? Is that what happened? Not even slightly. That would take another 13 centuries, during which Christian Europe became the absolute opposite of anything even remotely enlightened. Religious pluralism wasn't even imagined. Instead, the church spent nearly 800 years embracing inquisition and hunting down heretics for whom free speech, freedom of expression, and free inquiry were as missing in action as a Christian practicing nonviolence and turning the other cheek. For Hitchens' sake, Christians couldn't even be true to their own canonical values, those of the Prince of Peace, gentle Jesus, meek and mild. Indeed, this is the time in history, in the history of the West, when life was far more saturated with Judeo-Christian values, far more than it's been for the last 400 years. And we saw nothing even remotely like what we'd expect to see from those swimming in the warm and friendly waters of the Enlightenment. Why is that, Tom? If the Enlightenment is Christian at its core, why was the Christian West for 1,300 years the very antithesis of Enlightenment ideals? And speaking of those waters we swim in, how exactly did it come to be that Christianity is the water we're all swimming in? Like way over here in the Americas and all over the world. And what waters were the Christians swimming in when Christianity arose? Those are some of the questions we'll look at in upcoming episodes. Until then, I'm me. Thanks for watching.